Is he master of the universe? No, no, no! He is master of home and building inspection, and Glenn is also a master consultant.
I'm known here in the chapter as a home inspector, but I'm really much more than that. I'm a consultant with a team of home and building specialists. We have information that can empower anyone around a home or building. So these are some of the things that came in that maybe you know all about already, and maybe you don't. And some of these are very revealing that we're one of the very few, and this is what makes us different, that we actually test appliances when we're doing a home inspection. We actually go on the roof and in the attic if it's safe to do so, and you'd be surprised how many people don't do that. And especially that applies to crawl spaces, which is a low-height basement under your home. Some inspectors will just take a look with a flashlight and say, yeah, I don't see anything moving in there. Well, that's a really important part of your home if you have a crawl space instead of a basement. So this goes on and on about what we do, and this is a lead-in to we inspect electrical rooms, mechanical rooms, etc. when it's a condo building. We don't just look at the unit interior. So this goes on about some of the tools and the gadgets we have, etc., etc., etc. So this was just a random question and answer thing. What do you know about Glenn's business? Some people, I think, might have been petrified to even respond for how little they knew, but I'm only guessing here. We're known as the only strata specialist out there. That's our ideal client, as a first-time buyer buying a condominium or townhome. They've never owned a home before. They're scared to death, and so are their parents, about maybe a leaky condo, what they might be getting into. But we actually look at anything residential. Mobile homes, remember that, mobile homes to mansions. Not many inspectors will do a mobile home. They'll defer that because there are some scary aspects around mobile homes. Some of the memberships we belong to, which maybe isn't important to you, but this was some of the guessing and the research that other members sitting beside you were able to come up with, was what groups and associations does Glenn belong to? And this is where all the points were being scored as it went through. So we work with realtors, contractors, homeowners, home buyers, lenders, insurance companies, and then lawyers who are trying to document a situation, maybe a construction litigation situation that's gone sideways, but it needs to be documented. So documentation is really important. When I write a report for someone buying a home, that's an empowering piece of information, that report and that document, but that applies to a lot of different situations. Renters in distress. And someone was kind enough to point out that whenever I'm too busy or I'm going away, I've always got someone to back me up. And this was very nice for someone to point out as well, that what a valuable member I've become in this chapter for pointing out, thank you, for bringing in tens of thousands of dollars to this BNI Dynamo chapter. I mentioned last week that I'm on the list with the village of Anmore for building envelope checks when a new home is being built. If you know of any other municipalities where the city staff don't do that, I'd like to talk to that building department, the chief building official. So when people are not sure, they're stressing, they're wondering, don't know where to turn in a situation, we're the go-to contractor for that kind of information. So it was interesting again what even those people like Pre, with all due respect, who went above and beyond everyone else and brought up all these points, these bullet points, what wasn't mentioned. So there were a few things that were never revealed. And Preet was the only one who actually mentioned our tagline, which we chant every week here, but it was so obvious, I guess, that others missed it completely. So we do warranty checks on new construction before the warranty evaporates. We help out co-op administrations, strata administrations. We do depreciation reports. Anybody with a problem around a home or building, we can usually send them in the right direction. Property managers and landlords. I'm one of the very few mechanical insulation inspectors in this province, sanctioned by the BCICA, the BC Insulation Contractors Association, to make sure the insulation is applied. This applies to non-commercial or non-residential buildings for piping and ductwork, to make sure it's done right and proper the first time. We do troubleshooting and investigation, quality control, condition checks, as you heard me mention during my 60-second spiel. I've been sanctioned and recognized as an expert witness in court to back up the report I've written for someone who's in a desperate situation trying to fight back. I've been featured in the media many times on CBC radio and many forms of print. So that's what these are some of the things that make us distinctly different than the average home inspector out there, is we're really an information provider, but I have to label myself for BNI purposes, and I understand why. Bottom line is we're distinctly different by design. Now, that's about all I have to present. There's a few referrals here, part of our team. It's a small but growing team. Peter Hansen is my main man when I'm not available, trained and mentored by myself. Sinette provides administrative support. So some of the things. Any questions come to mind before I wrap up here? And thank you for your rapt attention. Drum roll. Thank you.